Yes, what's going on, producer friends? In today's video, we're going to talk about making your own risers. This is super simple, and if you've been kind of waiting to dive into sound design, then I think this is the perfect jumping off point. So in this video, we're going to be using a technique called FM synthesis. If you don't know what that is yet, I'm going to give a super quick explanation of it here in a second, so just hold on tight. So I'm going to be using Serum today, but this is going to be completely possible in a lot of other soft synths as well. If you want this exact Serum preset that I'm working on today, you can go ahead and grab that in my Patreon. The link is in the description. But that's about it. Let's go ahead and just dive in. All right, so here we got a blank instance of Serum. And what we're going to do first is change this oscillator over to a sine wave. Turn on oscillator B and also make this a sine wave. So I'm going to give a really fast example of what FM is essentially and how we can use it to create risers. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is pull this octave all the way down on oscillator B, push it all the way up for oscillator A. You don't really need to do this and follow along or anything. This is just for example purposes. We're going to go down here and go FM from B. So essentially what FM is going to do is take this input of this oscillator into this oscillator, and it's going to move the pitch of oscillator A based on whatever oscillator B is doing. So right now it's just moving like a sine wave. So if we bring up the FM, it's going to sound like boo, boo, right? Because it's going to follow this track. And if it was a saw wave, it would be like pew, pew. But anyways, let's just see what that sounds like. Right? So literally the pitch is just following this track, this sine wave. So if we changed it to something crazy like this. So you can hear the little pop, pop. Those are these little spikes, but you can hear that it's following the pitch downward and then upward, and then when it hits one of these spikes, it's making that little bloop noise. Now where this gets really cool is if we bring up the octave, it'll go into what's called audible range. So now it'll start to... So now it sounds a little bit more like the FM that you're used to for making dubstep basses or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit an initial preset. I just wanted to give that quick demonstration of FM, just in case it was something that you guys were a little bit foggy on still. All right, so for this, we're going to just go ahead. Let's just go back to using 2 sine waves. That'll just make something super clean sounding. So let's bring up this, bring this down, and we will go ahead and turn on our FM. Cool, so this will be a cool starting point. So what we're going to do is just find things that sound cool and route our first macro to them. So then essentially by the end of this, we'll have the macro moving like 10 different things, but it'll be creating a riser. So all you got to do is automate the macro and boom, you've got a riser. So first thing that we're going to do is throw it onto the coarse pitch. Let's just do both of them for now. And that could be your super basic riser as is. But, you know, I'm bougie, so I like to do other things. So we're going to go ahead and let's maybe just add some noise here. And I'm literally just going to do stuff at random. And I really encourage you guys to also do things at random. Just starting out, you know what I mean? Like just messing with things, because that's how you find cool combinations, little tricks. Okay, so that's cool, but there's a lot of bass that I don't really want, so I'm just going to cut it in the effects section. No problem. And let's see here. Let's also have it with some hyperdimension, and I want it to get wider as it rises up. So we're just going to put the macro on the mix, and let's have it also mess with the detune. So... cool. So that's already sounding pretty sweet. Maybe we just add a little bit of reverb to it or something. And we'll have the mix also go up. So it starts to sound really huge at the very top end of the riser. Now let's do something a little weird. Let's maybe invert the polarity of the FM oscillator, so that's moving downward as our other oscillator is moving upward. That might give us something interesting. That's kind of cool, actually. Not sure if it applies in this case, but definitely something to mess with next time I'm working on risers. Okay, so for the last thing I'm going to add, I think let's have these oscillators detune and get really, really detuned towards the end. And I'm also just going to go ahead and call this rise. Nice. So here is a super, super simple riser, but obviously you could switch these out and not use sine waves. You could use square waves, saw waves. I mean, there's a gajillion wavetables in Serum. So this is just a super, super basic example to kind of get your mind flowing, get you in the sound design mood so you can start working on risers. Like I said earlier, risers are the perfect thing to start your sound design journey off on because they're super abstract. There's no wrong way to do it, and they're just plain fun. So like I said, if you want to grab this Serum preset, it will be at my Patreon. The link is in the description, patreon.com/whenyounknow. But that'll be it for me this time, guys. I will see you in the next one. Skeet, skeet, water gun.